Hey, Greg Russell here, and welcome back. Right now, I've got a very special person I'm going to be talking to. Her name is Misty Lynch, and she has a brand new series called HeartBroke, and it's all about financial difficulties that a lot of people have, and she tries to help them out and figure out what to do. Misty, good to see you.
Thank you so much, Greg, for having me.
Now, tell us a little bit about how did this whole project get started for you?
So it was really interesting. I think we were, it was still in the, pretty much in the pandemic where we were home and working, kind of working on our own or from home. And so it was, there was actually a casting call for, so they were looking for a financial advisor who could talk about people's feelings and emotions when it came to money. And a friend of mine who I used to work with in corporate was just like, I think this is you. They're looking for you, and sent it to me. And so me being, an extrovert wanting to meet with new people and connect with people in different ways, I sent a message saying, hi, I'm a certified financial planner, but I'm also a certified life coach. I love talking to people about their feelings and how their financial decisions are 100% of the time motivated by how they want to feel. So I was ready to dig into this topic. And so I was connected with the Singleton Foundation, who focus on financial literacy and trying to use entertainment to make it fun, more interesting, more easy to watch, because this is such a big fear for so many people that
Mhm.
they tend to just try to avoid it or maybe not engage early enough until something goes wrong or there's some sort of crisis, where if you can kind of build in that financial literacy earlier or as soon as possible, it can make such a difference.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, very seriously, a good piece of advice my dad gave me when I was in my 20s, got out, had my first job, and making X amount of, dollars.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you pay off your bills and then to an extent, take the rest of it and go out and have a good time.
Yeah.
And he told me, he said one time, he said, you get your bank statement each month. I said, yeah. He
Mhm.
said, you know what? From each paycheck, take $50 or 100 and put it in and wait till you get the bank statement at the end of the month. You're going to be surprised because it's going to go from here to here. And then next thing you know, I started doing that and it was great. Then I just started putting more and more in because, yeah, you
Yeah.
get that statement and nothing feels better than going, wow, I'm going up.
Yeah, and I think that's such a hard thing for people to understand unless someone just says, hey, just start small, because we think,
Yeah.
oh, we didn't start early enough. Our bank account's never going to be 500,000, $1 million. What's the point? But the point is every little step and decision that you make can have a huge benefit, even if it takes time. It can be really beneficial to just start out that way. Forget that money's even there and just, stick to your plan and do it. And I think that that is such great advice. But a lot of people, they're, maybe their parents or their friends of their family, maybe they didn't have the best financial
Right.
decisions themselves, and so they didn't really have any role models. So they're kind of figuring it out on their own. And it's something that no one wants to talk about. So it's really difficult to become financially literate if you don't have those people in your life.
No, yeah, and you're right. And because I even read, while looking up about your show,
Mhm.
that more people get divorced over financial reasons than anything else. I mean, you'd almost think it would be, whatever. But
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, and so that was part of the whole premise of HeartBroke, is talking with couples. And these couples are at different stages in their relationship. Some have been together a very long time, some are married, some are considering moving in together, and they just started dating, very recently. And so you're right, that is such a common thing that's cited in divorce, but you think about it, and half the time or more, I would say it's not a financial amount that's causing the divorce. It's the communication breakdown. It's the secrecy. It's the trust factor, all of those things that happen when it comes to money. Or maybe you're arguing all the time because one of you wants to spend money on go on vacation and the other one is very afraid to part with money.
mhm,
Not dealing with those emotions can just lead to fights about money where everybody wants to be right. And
mhm,
that in that point, it might be tough to keep a relationship going unless you really get to the root of what's going on there.
right. And let folks know where they can find this show.
Sure. So the show, if you go to Million Stories, their website is there. It's on YouTube, so you
No?
could find it there. The episodes are really short. They're just about 12 or 13 minutes long, which I think is kind of, they want it to be digestible. They want it to be something that people can watch on their phone or while they're going someplace or while they're waiting, and just kind of get that quick, there's so much that we cover with these
Yes.
couples. And it's been so fun to watch their transformations, the things that trigger them to have this thought or this feeling. And you could almost relate to just about any one of the people, you know, that you've seen. You might say, oh, I feel that way too when my spouse brings up money, or, oh yeah, that's smart, that person's got the right idea. It's so easy to kind of relate to the people that we spoke with, and they were so open and honest. But the episodes, really, we try to get to the point. We try to get those, you know, this is what the budget looks like, this is what your spending habits are, this is what might be causing these feelings to come up for you every time money is introduced. So we wanted to make it something that people could really, you know, watch the whole series, kind of get a better understanding, and maybe start some conversations themselves.
Yes, and you are absolutely right. Like you said, they're 12 minutes long about that.
Mhm.
So I mean, I sat up and I watched everything, you know, of course, right through. And it's like I said, they're all different stories, but it was just, you know, interesting to see how you were helping these people out. So that
Yeah.
was just fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the people that I worked with and the people I work with all the time, you know, we all are human and we all have human brains, and we make these decisions, and we learned this behavior so long ago, and sometimes we've been doing these things for years, and it's really, we don't question our own thoughts or our own opinions very often because it sounds like the truth and fact. So it was really fun
Yes.
to talk with these people and slow down
Mhm.
and examine some of the things that they feel are real, and say, okay, why would this other person potentially have different feelings or different thoughts, and just kind of get people to understand each other more.
That's for sure. Need to get you into Detroit and have a seminar or something like that. That would be fantastic.
Absolutely. It's been a while since I've traveled to Detroit, but I'd be
Oh,
happy to go back. Yes.
come on back. I also have a tour business where I give tours of the city. I'll give you a special
Oh,
tour.
that would be so fun.
All right.
So fun.
Misty Lynch, thank you so much. Series HeartBroke, and you can see it on Million Stories as far as the network where it's streaming.
Mhm.
So be sure to check that out. And we'll be back with more in just a moment.
Thanks, Greg.